Good afternoon. Hi, I'm Cindy Bertram, and thanks for joining me today on Good Ship Happens. And yes, we have a lot of really fun things going on in the industry. It's really, really great too, which I love too so much. And for instance, of course, I've talked about new ships coming out this year. Just found another list, so I want to update you on the new ships coming out this year. There are a lot of them, but the fun thing is I'm actually going to be on one of the new ones too, and she's christened. I'm so excited. That's with the MSC, their World America. I got invited. I'm so excited because their christening events are so wonderful, and it's going to be taking place in April. And what they'll do is they'll christen and name the ship and then take us out to sea for, I think, 2 days. And they'll probably take us to their private out island, Ocean Cay, MSC Marine Reserve, which I actually was at on one of the other christenings in 2021, but it's amazing private out island, really, really great too. So I'll share about that later on too. But the fun thing is, there's so many options out there too. I mean, we talk about cruises, and people say, okay, what's the best cruise line? Well, there's so many out there. And the good thing is, that provides you with so many options, okay, which I really, really like, because once again, if you want to take a longer cruise, you can. Shorter cruise, you can. Some people, if they've not cruised before, maybe just prefer to do maybe a 3-night cruise. I mean, that's honestly how I got hooked on cruising. I took a 3-night cruise, and it was just wonderful. I got hooked on cruising just after taking a 3-night cruise, right? And that was with the Norwegian Cruise Line on their Somewhere too, which was a little ship. Sometimes they call them a baby ship, but it's a little ship. But we went to their private out island, and then we went to Nassau. But just such a great experience to actually get to see different places too. And once again, there were so many options out there too. I really love private out islands. They're beautiful, and cruise lines are really, really doing more with these too, which is great. Of course, with Ocean Cay MSC Marine Reserve, that is actually MSC Cruises private out island. As mentioned before, they actually wanted to do something, and they started negotiating a deal with the Bahamian government, I think back in 2015 maybe, to lease an island, which they did. They paid $100 million to the Bahamian government to lease this island for 100 years. The island was trash. It was a former manufacturing plant. The trees on the island were dead. The sea life was dead, and they had to re-renovate things like crazy, but they did such a great job. They actually invested $400 million. And what I love when I went there is it was good to see it personally after I'd written about it too. And it's beautiful, and they've added more too. So we'll go back to see again too, of course, this year now. They're christening of the new ship, the World America. So I'll share more about that later too. But I just get so excited about new ships. It's so exciting. Something else too that is fun too, if you think about it. People say, okay, what's the longest cruise you can take? Well, you know what? This is kind of fun, I think. A couple cruise lines are announcing about their world cruises, okay? And one, actually, they just made this announcement this week, was Azamara. And what they did was they just announced they're going to be having a 188-night world cruise. It's going to visit 37 different countries, and it's going to be their 2027 world cruise. They've created a wonderful destination, and it's going to go sailing as far as Stewart Island, New Zealand, and then as far north as Helsinki, Finland, all in one cruise. What's good too is it's going to be on their Azamara Quest. It's going to sail from San Francisco on January 5th of 2027 and go to, as mentioned, 37 different countries across 5 continents before they conclude in Copenhagen on July 12th of 2027. And as mentioned, the route actually leads west across the Pacific to New Zealand, Australia, then up north up the coast of Asia to cities including Singapore, also Hong Kong and Tokyo. And they just made the announcement. It's really kind of fun too. I don't think I can afford it, or the time factor too. But once again, they are going to be doing second Trans-Pacific crossing that will take guests up to Alaska, which I love, then down the west coast of North America to the Panama Canal. And after transiting through the canal, The ship is going to actually go along the east coast to Newfoundland, Canada, and then finally across the Atlantic to Europe. And then with this cruise, it's going to conclude with a cruise around the Baltic Sea. And once again, with this world cruise, what's good too is the Aasimar Quest is a smaller ship, of course, and that's kind of good too, because what they do is with Aasimar, they can actually stay longer in different ports because their ships are very, very small. They call them Amazing Evenings. And what they're doing is on this world cruise, guests can really, blend in a lot of different iconic cities and lesser known ports because of the Aasimar Quest smaller size, which allows it to get into exclusive locales. And one voyage will include 50 late night port stays and 15 overnight stops, which really gives guests the opportunity to really explore a destination beyond a short excursion too. And they said too, of course, if you can't swing a 188 night vacation, don't worry. You can actually book the cruise by segment. And the full world cruise voyage is split into 12 smaller trips, which makes sense too, each lasting 2 to 3 weeks. For instance, they get different segments, so keep in mind too. Segment 7 covers Japan and South Korea. That runs April 16th through April 30th, 2027. And later on, there's segment 12 actually covers Northern Europe and the Baltic. That will be running from June 28th through July 12th of 2027. And for those who are wanting to go on the full voyage, of course, what's nice too is to sweeten the deal right now, because they just announced it. Aasimar is offering a $40,000 incentive package to sweeten up the deal. So guests can actually book this entire 188 night cruise, receive $8,500 shipboard credit, unlimited laundry service, complimentary onboard medical consultations, free Wi-Fi, premium beverage package, and plus pre-cruise perks include airfare credit and also $500 luggage shipping reimbursement too. And of course, prices for the full Aasimar 2027 World Cruise start at $49,278 per person for an interior stateroom cabin, and they go all the way up to $180,309 per person for their Club World Owners Suite. But once again, you don't have to book the owner suite. You can still do this world cruise, 188 night cruise. Right now they're offering that $40,000 cruise incentive to sweeten the deal. Otherwise, you have to pay $48,279. So just keep in mind too, because once again, it's kind of good to know that you've got options out there too, in case you do have time and money to do this 188 night world cruise. You can do it, but also you can actually shorten it up too. So it's really great. I think it's just a good option too. And I know that Crystal Cruises just announced that they're doing also in 2027, yes, cruise lines are offering these packages. They're doing their own world cruise in 2027. It's going to be a 140-night journey to 83 different destinations. So I think that's kind of fun too, isn't it? Just, you take shorter cruises. Once again, what's nice too, but with Aasimar, you can actually take in segments too, right? Which is great too. So keep that in mind. If you've got time, money, or you want to save up, definitely think about that too. Okay, but I think that's really exciting because there are more options out there too than ever. Also, as mentioned, we've got a lot of new ships coming out. That's really exciting. I get really excited about new ships myself too. And we've got several. But once again, what's good too is, you talk about different places to cruise. Of course, obviously, when cruising first started, it was the Caribbean. They branched into Alaska. And of course, now we've got so many options as far as Europe with the river cruises too, which is great. And what's nice too is, the river cruises are so popular. It's definitely on my list. I don't like to use the term bucket list, but I would love to do a river cruise in Europe because once again, they go to these beautiful smaller places. And on the river, plus once again, you have to think about the river cruise line ship as your floating hotel. I think it's just a nice option instead of maybe trying to do a tour package. We have to fly over to Europe, stay in one hotel, then you have to go to another hotel, another hotel, another hotel. In this case, with the river cruises, including the river cruises in Europe on the rivers, the ship is actually, and they're smaller, is your floating hotel. Okay, and one thing came up too, I didn't realize it too, is the Danube River in Europe is actually the second longest river in Europe, which I think is wonderful. It really glides by lush vineyards, medieval fortresses, and fairy tale castles that stood over the time. And of course, there are just different options out there too as far as river cruises too. There are several, but one I want to mention too, of course, is they've been around for over 22 years, is AMA Waterways. And they're family-owned, Lush River Cruise Line. They're well known for their well-appointed ships, which actually have whirlpools, swim-up bars. Yeah, swim-up bar on a river cruise, yes. 360-degree panoramic sun decks. They've got gourmet dining. And like I said, they were the world's first river cruise line that was inducted into the La Chaîne de Routiers, which is the oldest culinary society in the world, too. And their flagship, the Ama Magna, sails the Danube at least twice the width of the traditional European river cruises. And so once again, it boasts the largest suites on the river, plus a cinema, 4 restaurants, a sweeping gym, juice bar, and even a pickleball court. Because once again, people say, okay, they get hooked in different types of sports, but one is really, really huge, is pickleball. Yes, cruise lines have their own pickleball courts. And with the Ama Magna, it has a pickleball court, okay? And as far as on waterways, there's so many options too. For instance, they've got their 8-day Best of the Danube sailings from Budapest. They stop in different places, including Linz and Vienna. Highlights including the 11th century UNESCO site of Melk Abbey, cycling along the romantic Danube Canal, also seeing Vienna's famous Ringstrasse Boulevard. And what's really fun too is you can actually enjoy exercise classes too, led by the Wellness Health hosts, and also massages. There's Zen Wellness Studio. So keep in mind too, I mean, there's so many options out there as far as river cruise lines, but Waterways is really wonderful. A few more I'll talk about later on too, but that's just great to know too, because I think that's fun too. And just something else as far as news too was actually, this is interesting. Panama has been around for a long time. What they did was they actually purchased a smaller cruise line, Paul Gauguin. They purchased that a couple years ago after we went through the pandemic, but also they just acquired a majority stake in the Aqua Expeditions. And what they do is, the Aqua Expeditions is known for river and ocean cruises to South America, Southeast Asia, and beyond. And they just announced it today. I'll be sharing more about that later on, but that's, I think, good fit too, you know. And then also too, as far as another cruise line I've talked about before, which is great, but Explorer Journeys, okay? What they do is they actually are the luxury cruise brand for MSC Group, and they officially started with their first ship, I think 2 years ago, yes, 2023, because they launched their newest ship last year, and now the Explorer Journeys 2 is sailing on her Caribbean sailing, which is great. She's christened actually last year, September, over in Europe, did European sailings, then came across the ocean and arrived into Port Maybe, where she's actually sailing on cruises until spring. But Explorer Journeys actually has more ships coming out too. They've got their Explorer 3, which is going to be coming out in summer 2026. And their mindset is bringing that ocean life to sea. And the Explorer 3 is going to embark on scenic journeys throughout northern Europe's coastlines, landscapes of Iceland and Greenland. Also, traverse North America's east coast. And then she will be positioning in the Caribbean in the wintertime too. And the luxury ship actually, once again, because it's luxury, features 463 spacious ocean suites, penthouses, and residences. And they've got great award-winning culinary offerings. And like I said, the ship, as mentioned, will start through Western Europe to visit Bordeaux, France. And then she'll head to Northern Europe, starting in Southampton on August 17th, 2026. Then she's going to visit different destinations in Netherlands, Norway, Astoria, Sweden, and Germany, before going to Iceland and Greenland. Along the way, guests will be able to enjoy different off-the-beaten paths, which is great too, including Rhone in Denmark. They've got Greenland, of course, and then Iceland too. And then September 27th of 2026, the Explorer 3 will actually be arriving in Quebec City, Canada, before continuing its journey on the U.S. and Canada's east coast. And then the ship will actually arrive on October 25th, 2026, before setting sail to the Caribbean for the winter season, which is great. And they're doing some wonderful things, which I think is wonderful too. And as far as with the Explorer 3, with Anna Nash, she is the president of Explorer Journeys. She mentions with Explorer 3, we're thrilled to reach the halfway point of launch of their fleet of 6 luxury ships, of course, each is designed to really redefine the standards of ocean travel. And as mentioned, this milestone, she said, really represents more than just growth. It really underscores our dedication to offering guests unparalleled access to some of the most beautiful places, breathtaking destinations. And by expanding our fleet, she said, we are able to offer a great variety of itineraries, immersing travelers in diverse cultures, which is great, as well as landscapes and, of course, unique moments across the ocean, across the globe too. And with the Explorer 3, she offers 18.7 square meters of public space per guest, which is the highest ratio in the industry, one of the highest ratios in the industry. Also, the Explorer 3 is going to increase the proportion of higher suite categories, offering more luxury, inclusive, and spacious accommodations. The ocean penthouses will actually account for 14% of the suite inventory. Also, ocean residences will make up 9% of the total inventory. And the Explorer 3 has 113 ocean suites. They've got 109 ocean penthouses, and then 39 ocean residences, and then 2 of the owners' residences too, which is great too. So once again, it's offering different things that are offered on their ships too. For instance, I know that they're returning some of their popular eateries such as Anthology, Sakura. They've got Fil Rouge, also the Med Yacht Club, Marvel & Company Grill, and their Emporium Marketplace. And guests can really take advantage of the reimagined ocean wellness and fitness, which, of course, houses both the ocean wellness, the spa, plus their state-of-the-art fitness center and studio. And also, there's an open-air fitness area on deck 14, also a total running track on deck 12, and the expanded sports court now has pickleball. Yes, that's very, very popular right now, pickleball, along with basketball. Also, they've got their Nautilus Club, and it's been improved on their coming up Explorer 3. She's going to be having dedicated spaces and curated experiences designed for children and teens. And they've got a dedicated team of expert hosts that will facilitate activities for younger guests, fostering creativity, fun, engagement. And also they got their Nautilus Club Juniors is really tailored to children under the age of 5, offering 6 hours of daily baby care services. And then, of course, kids between the ages of 6 and 17 will be able to enjoy activities in their Nautilus Club teams. And the ship has meeting rooms on deck 11 for business events, functions, also video conferences, and they can divide them up into different spaces too. Something else that is very important what the cruise industry is doing too is, as far as being able to go net zero emissions, and what they're doing too is a lot of cruise lines are also powering up shore power capabilities, and the Explorer 3 is doing that too. They've got advanced energy efficient features, and they got it's the first LNG, liquefied natural powered vessel in the Explorer Journeys fleet, which is great too. So just keep in mind too, because Explorer 2 just started sailing in September last year. She's sailing now in the Caribbean. Before that, the Explorer 1 came out the year before, so that's good too. So they've got 6 ships, but they've got 3 now running. Explorer 3 comes out in 2026. That's their 3rd ship. They also have 3 more ships after that too. So keep it in mind, because it's just, I think, a great experience. It's just very, very luxury, but once again, with that Ocean Majesty, I love it too. So yes, keep it in mind. As far as new cruise ships coming out too, we've got actually, I've spoken about this before, but we've got actually 15 new cruise ships debuting in 2025. We've got, and someone kind of found an article, a really great article, the person said, if you love cruising or have considered trying it, 2025 is going to be an amazing year to sail. They've got some, of course, incredible new ships coming out with new exciting things to see and do. And once again, you've got new destinations. You can explore while enjoying the pools, delicious food, fun shows, plenty of relaxing spots too. So once again, options out there are crazy. They're really, really good. Because once again, if you want to plan a family vacation, you could do that. Maybe a romantic getaway, you can do that too. Also, if you want to do an adventure with friends, but once again, there's so many different options out there. There's something for everybody too. One thing to mention too was, as far as the new ships coming out, I'll list a few. There's so many, but they've got 15 new ships, okay? We've got, of course, TUI Cruise Lines is not well known, but they've got their ship coming out, the Mind Shift Relax. That's coming out March 16th of this year. And her passenger capacity is 3,984 guests. It's the first in TUI Cruises' new ship series. It's going to be operated by liquefied natural gas, emphasizing their sustainability efforts too, while also offering a relaxing cruise experience with diverse amenities too. Another one, of course, is the Norwegian Aqua. She's going to debut actually on March 28th this year, and that's one of Norwegian Cruise Line's ships, but their Norwegian Aqua is coming out in March this year, March 28th. And as far as passenger capacity, she will accommodate 3,571 guests at double occupancy. Okay. And we've got, as far as, she's really the first ship, the Aqua is the first ship in Norwegian Cruise Line's Prima class. That's their category of ships too, which will offer enhanced amenities and innovative features compared to its predecessors, which is the Norwegian Prima and the Norwegian Viva. Also, the one I'm really excited about being on to is the MSC World America, and she's going to be coming out, of course, on April 12th. Okay, her christening ceremony is going to be on April 9th, and they should be sailing on a regular sails April 12th after the christening ceremony and sailing too. And as far as her size and passengers, she will accommodate up to 5,228 guests. Her gross registered tonnage is actually 215,863 gross registered tons, and it's actually MSC Cruises' second world-class ship. But with the MSC World America, she's actually taken for the North American market too, featuring some unique areas too, including the first Italy restaurant at sea, which is actually Italian cuisine too. We've got Viking Cruise Lines, and they got their Viking Vesta coming out this year in July 5th of this year. Viking Cruise Lines, passenger capacity is 998 guests on board. And as far as her gross registered tons, she is actually 54,300 gross registered tons. And it goes back to really Vikings tradition as far as destination-focused voyages. Okay, they offer intimate cruising experiences with a focus on cultural enrichment, also Scandinavian in design too. And also another cruise line you might not be familiar with is Ritz-Carlton. Okay, the Ritz-Carlton Yacht Collection, which has been around a couple of years. What they do is they've got their new ship, the Luminera, coming out July 3rd of this year, and once again, her passenger capacity, because this is luxury, is going to be 452 guests. Okay, her gross registered tonnage is going to be 46,700 gross registered tons. And launching, of course, this year in 2025, she's going to be the newest addition to the Ritz-Carlton Yacht Collection, which offers luxury cruising with a boutique hotel sophistication. Because once again, when you think about Ritz-Carlton, that's the hotel company is part of this one too. And the yacht features 149 all-suite accommodations with private terraces. Can you imagine a private terrace? That'd be great. They've got elevated dining experiences. They've got curated itineraries. And I think that's really fun too. Another cruise line that's got a new ship coming out this year, it's luxury, is Oceania Cruises. And it's their Allura. And she is coming out on July 18th. So once again, July is going to be a great month for new cruise ships, right? Her passenger capacity is going to be 1,200 guests, and her gross registered tonnage is actually 67,000 gross registered tons. That's the actual weight of the ship too. And the Allura, it's with two L's, A-L-L-U-R-A, is actually the second Allura class ship for Oceania Cruises, which really focuses on upgraded accommodations, gourmet dining experiences with itineraries that really focus on the Mediterranean region too. And then something else too is with Royal Caribbean. They've got their new ship coming out in August 31st this year. It's Star of the Seas, okay? And it's a sister ship of their Icon Seas, which debuted actually last year in January. And one thing about Star of the Seas, of course, it's, once again, a very, very large ship. It accommodates 5,610 guests. Also, her gross registered tonnage is 250,800 tons, gross registered tons. But she's going to be offering very extensive water attractions, entertainment options, really, and cutting-edge amenities. But one thing that's kind of fun, too, about the Star of the Seas is it also has a special officer. Yes. When you think about officers, you think about the captain, right? Well, you know what? In the bridge, you've got a lot of officers that also help out the captain, of course, too. But in this case, like Icon of Seas, they have a special officer on board the ships. Guess what it is? They have a chief dog officer. Yes. Yes. Icon of Seas has a chief dog officer. Her name is Rover. She's a golden retriever, and she's in the bridge. But also what's great, too, is they've got a professional helps her to she's there really to create smile for people on the ship, too. So she's not really driving the ship with her paws, right, which is great, too. But I've seen her pictures. I used her picture in one of my articles when the ship came out. It's just, she looks so, I love dogs. Okay, yes, I do love dogs. But once again, with the Star of the Sea, she's going to have a chief dog officer on board herself, too. And guess what her name is? Well, the chief dog officer in Icon of the Seas is actually Rover, golden retriever. And the chief dog officer for Star of the Seas is going to be, her name's going to be Sailor. Yes. And I was told that quietly when I was talking to Michael Bailey, who's the president, CEO of Royal Caribbean, at a cruise conference last April. He quietly told me that they're going to have a chief dog officer on Star of the Seas. So that's really kind of fun, too. Because once again, she's there to create fun and entertainment, too, smiles for people, too. So she's not really driving the ship, but once again, how fun to have a chief dog officer on a ship, too. Right? Something else coming out, too, is, Virgin Voyages. Oh, my gosh. They've got a new ship coming out, too, called The Brilliant Lady. Yes. And The Brilliant Lady is actually going to debut actually on September 5th this year. And they didn't mention capacity, but it's just 110,000 gross registered tons, and it's going to be their fourth ship. Okay, and she, once again, maintains their brands only, adults only policy. They feature different dining venues. They've got wellness programs. Entertainment's really tailored for a very, very mature type audience too. But I had a chance to be on the Scott Lady when she came to the U.S. before she started sailing, and that was just amazing to finally see the ship. And I was on board the ship from about 6 o'clock at night to like 2 o'clock in the morning, and I was at a conference, but they took us down there. It was great too to finally see the Scott Lady, and it was beautiful. I mean, beautiful, beautiful ship too. So it's really exciting because the Brilliant Lady's coming out. That's their fourth ship, and once again, features different things they do too. Something else we've got too is we've got Princess Cruises. They got their Star Princess, yes. She's coming out in October 4th of this year, and she will accommodate 4,320 guests on board. Also, her gross registered tonnage is actually 177,000 gross registered tons. She's their second Sphere class vessel. She's offering modern design elements, including expanded venues, advanced technology, enhancing the cruising experience with a blend of innovation and elegance too. So that's kind of fun, isn't it? Because once again, think about cruising. What really I think helped the cruise industry really get its foot was actually when they started the Love Boat TV series too. So that's really fun too, because once again, new ship coming out with Princess Cruises is great. They do wonderful things too. So they've got that's coming out, of course, October 4th of this year too. Another one coming out is Celebrity Cruises. Their new ship is coming out this year too, called the Celebrity Excel, and it's actually spelled X, small letter C-E-L. So Celebrity Excel. She's coming out on November 18th this year, and her passenger capacity is actually just 2,918 guests. Her gross registered tonnage is actually 100,900 gross registered tons. And the Celebrity Excel is actually their final ship in their Celebrity Edge class ships. And the Edge class ship started actually, I'm trying to think when it started. It was on the Celebrity Edge. The Crescent 2 is great, amazing. But once again, it's their final class ship and their Celebrity Edge class of ships too, which is great too. So keep them in mind too, because they do great things. Amazing. With Disney, of course, Disney does wonderful things. Definitely. I got a chance to see them in Disney when they started their first cruise back in the 1990s, and it was just really, really amazing. It was just amazing because once again, too, it was a great way to really kind of experience different things with the entertainment, and just beautiful. Plus, their outlet was gorgeous too. And they've got their Disney Destiny coming out November 20th this year. And as far as her size, her gross registered tonnage is actually 144,000 gross registered tons. It's their third ship in Disney's Triton class, which really features immersive experiences around their Marvel superheroes, including unique dining and also entertainment options that are inspired by popular characters. And this will accommodate 4,000 guests too. But one thing about Disney is, when I was on board the first ship, the Disney Magic, they didn't have a casino. Okay, I don't know if they do or not, but what I really like too is they had family areas. They actually had adult-only areas too, which is great. And the dining was so fun as far as unique dining and entertainment options too. The dining was phenomenal. We went to a different restaurant each night with different cuisine, but our staff followed us. We had the same assistant waiter at our tables, which is great. So that was really fun to do too. And another one too coming out, okay, right before the end of the year. Oh my gosh. So we're going to go from the Disney Destiny, of course, debuting in November 20th this year. And then Disney has another ship coming out this year, the Disney Adventure. And she's going to be coming out on December 27th, right before Christmas. So definitely keep that in mind too. Her passenger capacity is going to be a little bit larger. She will accommodate 6,000 guests. And her gross registered tonnage is going to be 208,000 gross registered tons. And it's originally part of their global class, but the Disney Venture, excuse me, has been acquired by, reimagined by Disney Cruise Line, which is great too. So I think it's really fun to think about that too, because once again, there's so many options out there too, which is great too. Something else coming out too, which is really fun too, is Windstar Cruises. Maybe you're not aware of them, but they're great. They do wonderful things. Been on for several years, but they've got their new ship coming out. Oh, excuse me, the Star Seeker. She's coming out on December 28th this year. Another early Christmas present, right? Or after Christmas present. And Windstar Cruises. And what they're doing is they've been around for several years. What's good too is they're expanding their fleet, and this is their Star Seeker, which will accommodate 224 guests. Her gross registered tonnage, mine is just 9,939 gross registered tons. Once again, this really is significant growth for the line, which currently operates 6 different ships. And they've got their Star class vessels already. They've got the Star Breeze, Star Legend, and Star Pride, but also the Star Seeker is going to join their existing Star class vessels too. So that's really exciting too, because they do some wonderful things, and it's exciting that they're building a brand new ship too. Something else that maybe you're not aware of too is we've got another cruise ship coming out, and it's called the Four Seasons One. Okay, and it's part of Four Seasons Yachts. Okay, it will accommodate 180 guests on board. It's her tonnage is going to be 34,000 gross registered tons, and is a 679-foot, 14-deck vessel, which draws inspiration for the Four Seasons Hotel. And it's going to feature 95 different luxury suites. And the yacht's going to have floor-to-ceiling windows, terraced decks, plunge pools, a standout 4-level funnel suite, described as a villa of the seas. But Four Seasons Yachts, keep it in mind because it's relatively new, and it's really part of the Four Seasons Hotel Corporation too. So, but a lot of great new ships coming out too, which I think is really fun. Don't you think so too? Something else that is really fun too is this was just announced too yesterday. Emerald Cruises, they just did the keel laying for their new yacht, the Emerald. I think it's pronounced Kea, and they just did this killing event, okay? And once again, with Emerald Cruises, the Emerald Kayla is part of the Emerald Cruises brand. They also have, of course, Scenic Group too. And with the Emerald Kea is going to be debuting in April 2026. But the fun thing is, her booking's already open for sale, so that's great too. Book in advance too. And as far as the size, it's going to carry 128 passengers, and 88% of the cabins will have verandas too. Also, it's going to, let's see here, key highlights include an expansive sun deck, wellness areas, 50% larger spa swim platform, allowing direct access to the ocean from the fitness center. What's fun too, as I mentioned, they've got new water toys, including an inflatable slide too. So they just announced this yesterday, so keep in mind too. And something else that's really fun too, I think, is we think about different cruise lines and what they do. We've got so many cruise lines out there too. Another one is Viva Cruises. I'll talk about more of that in the next episode. But they just, I think they're launching the ship right now. I think they're third ship right now, but I'll talk more about that later. But something else I want to share about you too is, I'm working on an article about it too, is when you think about, okay, cruise ships, they're big. You got smaller ships out there too, but once again too, is a lot of times there are companies that actually want to charter ships, okay? Well, sometimes chartering ships, including the bigger cruise lines, well, I mean, you got to fill a ship up that has like 6,000 guests, or maybe 5,000 guests, or 4,000 guests. That's a lot of work, okay? But there's another cruise line to think about too, in case you know how to your dad's meeting planning. But it's actually a cruise line that actually started about 2023 in the fall. It's called Transcend Cruises, and what they do is they're really defining the group experience as far as charting the ship, because once again, they just accommodate about 200 guests, okay? Once again, so if you've got, for instance, anybody does meeting, play, whatever, you can actually charter that ship. But chartering a ship that says that can accommodate to that 200 guests is much easier than trying to charter a ship that is a major cruise line ship too. And they are a charter-only river cruise line, and it was designed exclusively for groups. Okay, and once again, um, what they did was when they first started out, they decided to charter a ship from another cruise line that the cruise line wasn't using because they purchased it from a cruise line went under. But what they did was the Transcendent cruises began in, like I said, August, September 2023. What they did was they've been successfully operating services in all sectors of the group market. And what's kind of fun too is in December, on December 5th, they actually did a special steel cutting ceremony, which begins the construction of the new ship. And this is their first new purpose-built river ship. She'll be entering service in 2026, and it'll be sailing the Rhine River. Okay, they haven't announced the name yet. I'll share that more later when I know about that too, but have fun. And they're doing some phenomenal things. That's something I think people know about too, especially if you've got a person that maybe does different group events, whatever, thing, but you can actually do it on a cruise ship. And once again, this is much easier to charter because once again, it's just a 200 passenger ship. Okay, and they get different areas, which is great too. They've got it serves all areas of the group market too. These include meetings, okay, on board a ship. Of course, they've got events, affinity groups, and they work with leisure travel agencies as well as corporate travel agencies too. And like I said, they just did their construction of their first ship with a steel cutting event that took place on December 5th. And what's great too about Transcendent Cruises is the space, because I've been doing research and writing about it too, but also they've got different areas aboard the ship too, which is great. And they have customized spaces and services that are designed exclusively for group travel too, the market too, but also the luxury group market too. And the ships, we're going to have 5 separate different venues that will accommodate so 120 guests on board, not 200, sorry. And these include, they've got their forum, which is a 2-story amphitheater. And what they do is it's a great place for meetings, video productions, expert-led presentations, concerts, etc. They've got their studio, which is located on the first deck. And this is located next to their office, the charter office too. And it really can kind of different types of meetings too, which is great. Once again, the studio can be used for trade show on the ship. Command center also for different things. For instance, even like a yoga studio too, whatever. But and once again too, they've got their main lounge, top deck, and a restaurant. Also, there's intimate breakout spaces for private groups up to 20 people. And there are multiple dining options on board too. Okay, the main one is they've got the restaurant on deck 2, and that accommodates all the guests. They've got their aft lounge, which is near the spa facilities and holds up to 20 guests, which is perfect for private dining. They've got their morning wellness breakfasts and afternoon tapas. Also, they've got their coffee bar, which is available during the day. They craft different kinds of coffees. And the grill on the top deck actually is a place to go for a casual bite outside. And like I said, the benefit is their itineraries are customized. So once again, too, it's not just chartering a ship and you have to go where the ship goes. In this case, the itineraries can be customized to what that group organizer wants to do. Okay. And once again, too, it just they provide charters, and once again, the charters could be 3 nights. It could be as many as they want to, which is great too. So I think it's kind of fun to think about that too, because once again, something else they mentioned too is the person that charters the ship can start any day of the week and go to point on a round trip too. Also, something else that they would do too is you can actually, if you're a person who wants to charter the ship called a charterer, with Transcendent Cruises, they advocate slow travel for the charters. They can actually stay multiple nights in certain places too. As far as details on chartering a ship, which is great too, is, with chartering a ship, you have to have a deposit, final payment, etc. But they have a very, very simple contract. So I'm looking into that too. So people know about that too. Because once again, just kind of think about it as far as, for groups and events and special meetings, you can actually charter this ship, which accommodates us 120 guests, okay? Which is great. So keep in mind, this is called Transcend Cruises, and they are currently operating their one ship, but they're building a brand new ship too, which is great. So I think it's kind of fun to think about the chartering aspect too, because once again, it sometimes follows the need too, which is great too. So keep that in mind, because once again, it's just exciting to know that there are options out there as far as the group market and chartering a ship, and not have to worry about chartering a big ship yourself too. This is smaller, and they've got their whole process pulled together, and once again they work with you, which is great too. And I think that's kind of a fun thing to think about too, for groups, because once again it could be a small group. You can customize what you want to, and what they're doing is they're sailing, of course, I think it's sailing the Rhine River, okay? But once again, it's got beautiful options too, so keep that in mind too, because once again, it's just kind of fun to think about options out there too, as far as groups and where you want to go too, okay? But kind of fun too, because there's so many options out there too. Once again, I'm just excited about the new ships coming out, being able to be on the MSC Cruises World America, okay? Also, like I said, with Norwegian Cruise Line, the new ship is coming out too. We've got more ships, plus Disney has 2 ships coming out too, which is really, really fun if you think about it. It's great too. Also, with the growth of the private outlines too. Excuse me. So now Carnival has Celebration Key coming out, debuting their private outline. All coming more too. And I know with Norwegian Cruise Lines, they're doing updates to their private outline too. Excuse me. But there are so many options out there too. And once again, I'm really excited to go back to Ocean Key MSC Marine Reserve, because when I saw it back in 2021, I was just absolutely in awe what they're doing too. Okay, that's great too. It's just wonderful too what they're doing. I love it. Just wonderful options. It's so exciting. To new ships coming out too, and just different choices, okay? Because once again, with the cruise industry too, it's not just one size fits all. It's all different options out there like crazy, and you can pick and choose, which I absolutely love. Pick and choose. Do a little research. Work with the travel advisor. That's very important too. Work with the travel advisor. Do research and really kind of think about what fits the best choice for you too. But do research. Once again, definitely reach out to a travel advisor too if you can, because that's simple. They know the industry.
I'm Dr. Sylvia Earle, a marine biologist, oceanographer, explorer, and I'm passionate about the protection of this blue planet. I grew up next to the ocean in the Gulf of Mexico, and I've witnessed how much the ocean has changed and how marine life has been endangered. But I know there is still time to help the ocean, which is why I was drawn to the Aponte family's sustainability mission. Explorer Journeys has a genuine ambition to connect people with the wonders of the sea, its marine life, its communities, spiritually, physically, and intellectually. We share the same values and have the same objectives to deepen people's relationship with the ocean, to explore, protect, and restore. Explorer Journeys calls it the ocean state of mind, a sensibility that will ensure the protection of this precious blue planet. Through my foundation, Mission Blue, we're working on ocean conservation, inspiring hope with champions across the world. Beginning with my extraordinary role as godmother to Explorer One, we will be heralding a meaningful collaboration between myself, Mission Blue, and Explorer Journeys and the MSC Foundation towards preserving and restoring the world's oceans, the blue heart of the planet.
Mama, Papa, was your suitcase packed but not mine? How could you leave us kids behind? Parents are going on a cruise without us kids, and we know whose fault this is. Virgin Voyages says we can't cruise till we're 18, which makes us shake like we had caffeine. Virgin Voyages says no kids on the ocean, so we're causing a commotion. You'll be sipping cocktails under a starlit night while we're back home without an invite. Sure, you've earned a gourmet spread, but we're experiencing existential dread.
Adults, enjoy the cruise. We know you deserve it, but the fact we can't go is total bull.